this. Okay, cool. All right, everyone. My name's Tim. I'm an aspiring developer. I'm passionate about creating solutions to bring communities together. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about a application I'm making called LC Tracker. LC stands for LeetCode. So LC Tracker was created to make completing code challenges less of a solitary endeavor. So while these challenges are really good for improving your problem solving skills, they can be kind of hard to get motivated to start doing. I found that when I was most motivated to complete these problems, it was when I was getting together with a group of people. We'd all get together and say, hey, let's pick a problem, start solving it. We'll come back together in 20 minutes and kind of share what insights we've had. Maybe someone's got a solution already, they can share their solution, or just kind of talk about the problem, you know, think to help improve your thinking about it. So let's see. So the point of LC Tracker, so look, that's what it's normally like when you're coding, doing LeetCode. You know, that's probably a good place to be. His hair is still in his head. So the point of LC Tracker is to like kind of eliminate that solitary feeling and be able to solve these codes together, kind of. LC Tracker is designed to make coding challenges more engaging, collaborative, effective, and overall, mostly more fun. So today I'm going to talk about some of the key features of LC Tracker, the technologies that I use to make it, do a quick little live demo with some of the features, and then discuss some of the challenges I faced, as well as exploring opportunities for collaboration, especially building a web browser-based version of the front end. So now we'll dive into the features. So at the heart of the app is groups. So whether you want to join an existing group or create one of your own, you can do both of those things. And this will help foster a sense of community and working together. There's public groups and private groups, so you can join a group that anyone can join, or you could do something that's a little bit more focused and join a private group that has an admin who can recommend questions to do, and then everything can be a little bit more focused. And that could be useful for something like, you know, like Front-End Guild might have a group where they don't want other people coming in and they want to like focus on one question for 1 day, 2 days, whatever, however long the admin wants to take to update the featured question. As well as the featured question in groups, there's also a leaderboard, so there's some members of the group. This is an admin dashboard, so those are some of the options an admin would have. And then so, as well as the group things, there's leaderboards as well, and the leaderboards can be used to kind of compare your data or against other people in your group or the whole community as a whole. There's different options for leaderboards. This is just like an overall leaderboard for everyone that's in there. There's also leaderboards for specific questions. There's leaderboards for within groups, and there's like 5 different options for different leaderboards, basically. So there's also ways to track your progress. So like say for instance, you're only interested in completing blind 75 items, and that's a lot of questions to keep track of. So within there too, there's also a reviews question section, so you can look through, hey, when's the last time I did this question? It'll tell you when. Oh, I want to see the questions that I've completed in the last 3 days. It'll tell you, I'm curious, like, let me look at questions I haven't done for 2 months. Those will be there too, whatever you want to do. So the conclusion this is kind of the conclusion of all the main features. So this isn't really about doing more code, it's about coding together and coding better. Okay, so now we'll move on to the technical stuff here. For the front end, I use Node.js and TypeScript. I use that because I figured it would be the easiest way to have other people join on board and know what is actually going on in the code, because I can use return statements and leave little comments basically within the code itself. And then for all the selections and stuff, I used Inquire.js, which makes it seamless for users to navigate through the CLI without having to memorize different options and stuff like that. So basically you could just cruise up and down these menus. And for the back end, I use Node. I use Node, obviously. and Express. I use Express because it's really easy to set up my authentication with middleware, as well as handle errors correctly and send them to the client so they know what's going wrong. And then I use MongoDB for the storing the data, and I use MongoDB because I wasn't sure when I started the app like what features I wanted to have, and it was just way easier to use this, and as things scaled, I could just easily throw in new properties onto the documents. All right, and then now I will do a quick little demo here of the app, as long as I can figure out how to scroll this thing over to the side. Is that gonna work? Am I going the right way?
It's whatever the opposite of you think it is.
Yeah. Okay, and I just lost my mouse. Oh, I see what's going on. It's because this thing is full screen. Okay, let's see if this comes over now. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, so. Let me make this bigger so you can actually see what's going on. So I'm just logged in as someone named Ahu, I'm not really sure why. So let's say we want to do like a featured question. I'm in this group called Another Group. We can go to solve question. It's actually going to probably have to not make this maximum because it's going to pop up in another browser window. So we could go ahead and just say like, let's open the question here. Let's pretend we solved it, even though we have not solved it. And then we say we want to add our results. You know, you can say, yeah, you add a runtime speed. So this runs off honesty. The admins do have the ability to kick people from groups. So if you're lying about your speed and screwing everything up, an admin can go ahead and just kick the user out. Then you can select what language you solved it in. Let's just say we did C++. And then yeah, we want to submit it. And then now we have an option to add our code for people to view. Yeah, okay, cool. I copied and pasted some code. We'll submit it. The code's been added. It's waiting for the submission. Cool. So now we can go ahead and actually view other people's submissions. You can see what language they did it in. They passed it, their speed, and then used highlighter JS to highlight the code based on the languages that LeetCode lets you solve the problems in. So that's just a quick demo. There's like a lot more features than that, but I'm not going to really get into all the features. If you're interested in checking it out, you can install it there. And yeah, so I guess I'll talk about some of the challenges that I had. It was filled with actually quite a bit of challenges. I've been working on this for a while, so I had to kind of go back and remember things that were challenging for me. The most recent challenge I have were like setting up like the authentication system, capture and displaying that code efficiently on the screens in a way that's not annoying for the user. I mean, it is kind of annoying that you have to close the browser after you're done, but I don't really see a way of getting around that except for keeping everything in the browser. And then it was the first time for me deploying an API to an EC2 and having set up like I've set up EC2s before, but it was the first time where I wanted to have everything secure, so setting up SSL certificates and stuff like that as well. Another big challenge was actually navigating the whole CLI kind of seamless for the user. At the beginning, it was just like you get kicked back to the beginning after you did anything, and then I figured out ways to make stuff where you can actually go back in menus. And then the next thing I'll probably do is add like a breadcrumb at the bottom so the user knows where they're at. That's pretty much like all the challenges, and then like the growth that I felt out of it was, let's see, like starting to do test-driven development, because every time I change something, I just need to make sure that API wasn't broken at the beginning. I wasn't doing that. And then so I set that all up, and then I set up a MongoDB in-memory server, so that way I don't have to mess with the integrity of the data that I'm actually keeping on the database. Everything can just run in its own little MongoDB server. And then that's pretty much it. So, you know, if anyone wants to, they can start a group for Front-End Guild. If they go and install it, you'll just need to have a valid email address. Yeah, and that's it. So if you have any questions, Yes, Justin.
Great presentation. I got hundreds of questions.
Okay.
So, is that the UI and the CLI, is that library you said, Inquirer?
Yeah.
Is that with the tables and all that stuff?
So the tables is another library called, I think it's just called Tables, maybe Table 3 or something like that. So I use that, I use Inquire, and I think that's pretty much it for libraries.
Okay.
For that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another question.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you tell us a little bit about like your database schema, like how you have what the tables look like?
Yeah, so I can actually pull it up, but for the most part, I think there's 4 or 5 different collections. Let me just push this to the side here. Let me close this out, and I can show you here. So I've got one for users, and then like it'll just keep basic info about a user, and then also keep all their groups and their admins, and if they're an admin of a group and if they created anything, different verification information on there as well. And then there's like stuff for the questions, so you'll have like, you know, a question with a user ID and their username, what number the question was, because LeetCode has like numbers for all the questions, and then there's a info on each one of the questions, and group info, and then just random, this is answer stuff, so this is like the code that actually gets displayed on the web browser. Yeah.
How do you open the browser from the terminal?
There's a library called Open, and it works across like all.
So just search for what you want to do, and
yeah.
If you want a table, table.
Yeah, exactly. They're all named exactly what they do. So
But like,
that was
how
pretty
does
nice.
it work like under the hood?
I'm not 100% sure. It just opens whatever default browser you have set to default, and I know it runs across. It's like it runs across all platforms like Windows, Linux, and Mac. And you basically just stick a URL inside of there, and it'll open up the window to a URL for you. Yeah. Wait.
How are you handling sessions?
So I'm using JSON Web Tokens and just like blacklist tokens. I'm gonna set it up with refresh tokens. I just haven't found the time to do that because I was recently more focused on just adding features. But right now, basically, like if you register an account, you'll get some stuff attached to it. It'll send out an email to you, and then your status on the database will be pending until you check your email, click on it, and then it matches up the JSON Web Token that was sent with the email to what's saved inside of your database. And if those match, then it'll go ahead and it'll verify you, and then you can start using the app.
Whoa.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I know you may not have demoed it, but what does the admin experience look like? You said you can go back and
Yeah, I think I have it open still, so I can show you. Let me just, okay, yeah, cool. This person's on admin, so let me just log in as an admin.
And does it do with Windows too?
You know, I haven't tried it on Windows, but I don't see why it wouldn't. The only thing I could see being an issue with Windows is maybe where some of the stuff is saved if you install it globally, but
No, the browser open thing, does it work with Windows?
I think so.
yeah, it does. Yeah, it works across like all of them. Yeah, all operating systems. But so let me just like, if I go into here, you won't see any admin dashboard because this user's not an admin. So let me just log in as someone who's an admin here. And then right now I'm just running it on like a dev server, but it is hosted with the actual server right now, or with the production mode. So this guy is an admin, so you can go to the admin dashboard. These are the groups that he's admins of. You got members actions, you can update the featured question, you can view the passcode for the group if it's private, you can regenerate the passcode. For private, you can also delete the group, and like in the members actions, you can sort it by, if it's really big, you can sort it by last active or whatever, but in here you can make members admin, you can delete them. And there's checks for that too. You have to enter in certain key strings to actually proceed with deleting and stuff, so you don't just delete things by accidentally pressing enter. Yeah.
Just a quick question to make sure I understand what the architecture here looks like.
Mhm.
When I install your LC tracker thing from NPM, am I installing the client, then it talks to one of the servers, or am
Yeah.
I installing everything?
No, you're just installing the client, and then it reaches out to the server.
Does it store tokens locally, like for authentication? What does it
The
do?
only thing it stores locally is the groups that you're in, the admin, like the groups that you're an admin of, your name, and then a JSON web token to connect back in.
So it's just like, your local instance has like a local memory of what, like in Discord, you're like, oh, here's my 5 servers.
Yeah,
I'm interested in currently, but like you have it all stored, it's just like,
yeah. So like for the groups and stuff, all the groups you're included in, it's just an ID stored in an array for the group.
Node.js has an exec command, exec.
Oh,
So that's what's opening the browser.
oh.
There you go.
There you go. There we go.
So
Research.
like exec and a bash command, open.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Quick question, which I love. I think this is actually its strongest, there's so many strong points, but I love the fact that it's in the CLI. It just feels way more interesting, more cool. Why did you go with CLI?
I just wanted to like, one, minimize distractions, and then two, I just thought it would be fun to like, for users to make it feel like you're more like a coding experience. And like, oh yeah, I'm like, even if you're failing the code, you're like, well, at least I'm like doing something that like not a regular user could do. You know, I had to like run a couple extra things. I mean, but really once you run it, like install, you just type in LC tracker on the terminal, it just runs. But, and then also I just wanted to learn how to do it. And then I started with that. And then I was just like, well, I might as well just keep getting better with this. And like by the end, like my workflow for setting this stuff up is like super quick. Everything's really easy to read now. At the beginning it was kind of a mess, but I figured out ways to make it much easier. So if someone wanted to hop on board and add something and contribute to it, it wouldn't be like, what the hell is going on in here? It's all pretty straightforward now.
What are some wish list items that you would add?
Like a way to add like a chat, I think would be nice. A way for people to comment on other people's code would be the other things. But I don't want to get too bogged down in the weeds with that before. I feel like it would be a better idea to start working on a web a browser-based version, and then I could just plug that in like from there, so I wouldn't have to be like, okay, I built this thing, now I'm going to a web-based thing, I have to build it again, because like all the browser-based stuff is just built using vanilla JavaScript and like EJS templating. I just thought it would be kind of overkill to start loading in React and all this stuff. It's like I just wanted to like pop up quick and have a person be able to just go ahead and throw their answers in there.
Kind of a long shot or like future wish list thing. Have you looked into the actual integration with LC and their auth system and so on? So
No, I
it's
haven't
direct-
yet. No, I thought about that. I've thought about like creating like using. There's like also something called Judge where you can like have it run all the stuff, all the problems yourself. So I can maybe get like more of a, like they could plug their code in and then get like the
And just
the
like run
speed
it directly
there.
from the thing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But then I was just like thinking about it, I'm like, man, that's like kind of a big undertaking. Then I gotta like get all like their
Yeah.
tests and like all these different things.
Yeah, so instead of like running it directly, which presumably would like cost you money if you're running it off an instance.
Yeah.
Just like directly, I mean, assuming they have some kind of API, which maybe.
You would think there'd be something that would be like, you put in a run ID or something and it gives you back like,
Some
what is
stats you can
success, millisecond runs and language or
Also
something.
like lets you just like send code and like just.
Yeah, just like a text string or something.
Yeah, the
Well,
one
the
thing.
HackerRank has that,
yeah. Okay.
so.
Maybe
it's
add
just
an HC
HackerRank
to
tracker
it
and
or
I don't
HR.
know, whole thing.
One thing I did know that like I know you could build like a browser plugin, and then when someone submits the code there, you could like grab the information and throw it on the server. I've seen that done with there's some browser based thing where you can like save all your leak code problems and it'll like post it to your GitHub. But I looked into that for a second and then I was like, wow, it's kind of a lot to ask people. Hey, now you downloaded this. Can you install a browser plugin too, and all these different things. Yeah.
Well, like that letter read, is that part of that Inquire.js or is that?
Now that's Figlet.
Well, okay.
Yeah. I thought about changing it every day. I thought that'd be fun. And it's just,
Oh, does it include like different
yeah, different
fonts?
fonts. Yeah. And then speaking of that, another thing I wanted to do was like I started to do this, but I haven't finished it yet. Have like a featured question that's for like everyone, and it's just like it's one of the blind 75s, and that just changes every day. So that way, people, if you're not in a group, you could still interact with other people.
So do you foresee there being some type of universal engagement, like everyone who has this can like participate, like a global list?
Yeah, so there is a global list for like if you go. Sorry, I'll go back here. You can just add. There's one bug there. I just got caught with my pants down. You can just add questions to. There's not like a feature. If you don't want to work on the featured stuff, you can just go ahead and add
So
your results
what's
for
the
anything.
point
questions.
of being in a group?
Just to like work
You
with
see
other people.
subset of the table, right?
Yeah, so with the you'll have a specific table for each group, like, and then you can also that featured question thing where it pops up in a browser. You can only view other people from your group in there, so I can't go through and just view anything.
Kind of a dumb question or unsolicited suggestion, but
Oh.
is there any way to turn this into like a competitive game kind of thing?
I-
Like a speed round or something like that maybe?
I've thought about that too. That's also something that's like where I'm like the more complex things I think of, the more I'm like, okay, I should just do that on the browser probably, because I'll put like if I put too much work into this, I do worry that like I put too much work in and then people are just turned off by having to install it, you know. So it's like I do want to do like a web-based thing because I feel
Why
like
not just create a lead code that has a great API?
So
simple.
Yeah, that's
Why not
easier.
just create that?
Yeah.
You charging premiums and stuff. Yeah.
There's Eco Premium if you're, want to go the money making route.
Yeah, if you have a premium route, one thing that will convince you to pay premium is if you run my code on your side. Because LeetCode, when they run your code, they have really bad they have really bad. It usually have bad performance
Yeah.
instincts. So if you ran my code on your end, I would feel better about that with like statistics.
Yeah, that's like one thing I did think about, but it's like that was just a little bit out of the scope of like what I was. Right now, I'm just trying to get something where people can like interact with each other, but like all the cool ideas that are like bigger, I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool, but I just I haven't had time to look into it yet because like this is like something I'm working on, and then I got like 5 other things. I'm like volunteering with a group and studying and applying to jobs, and there's just too much going on to where like the bigger problems I'm like, is this realistically, it would be cool to use, but like, is it gonna benefit me in any way? And unfortunately, the short term,
Quick question. So you mentioned that there's groups.
Mhm.
Does that just show your global score, or does that show your score since you joined the group?
So it depends on what you want to do. So if you want to just view like the tables, like the leaderboards will show like if you do by question, you could sort it by the fastest that you've ever solved it as. But for when you're viewing the code itself in that browser, it's just only the most recent featured question since that featured question has been posted. So if you say you chose question number 2 and then a month later you chose it again for people to solve, you wouldn't get the old results, only the new stuff.
POASTED. Have you seen that?
No,
POASTERS posters.
no, what's that?
That's a new way to spell like posters who are just like bad.
Okay. Now I know.
Well, now you know.
Yeah, now that when you get kicked out, it's like you've been posted.
Kind of a dumb thing, but like if you were to redo this in the browser
Mhm.
with like more features or more time or whatever, would you want to maintain the same kind of like hacker command line aesthetic and just like do a sort of like terminal UX like experience in the browser?
I don't think so. I think I would just have it be mouse based, just because like, I personally like the more I've been coding, like I try to code at least 8 hours a day. The more I'm trying to like not touch the mouse.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about Vim earlier, and like, oh yeah, it's like it's supposed to be faster. It's like, yeah, once you spend like 3 months being really slow at it, maybe it gets faster then.
It's not that the problem is the defaults are bad.
Yeah.
VS Code has all the good defaults. Like
You
don't
can
need to
change all of it,
install,
but
like,
it's,
Yeah,
like jumping from one page to another, like clicking a function or something.
yeah, I started messing around with Vim tutorial, and I was like,
Default for everything, I think.
I could see how this could be like awesome,
That's
but
one of the reasons Vim is great is because it's default.
Yeah, it seems cool. I mean, but yeah, I would prefer
That's
to
just like the
have-
look and feel. I don't know, maybe like dark background.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would definitely keep everything like I would want to keep everything where the font is spaced
Yeah.
evenly and stuff like that.
Like that's the logo banner, just like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd keep that kind of stuff, but definitely make it like I don't think people want to be doing this all the time. I don't mind it, but
Would you like iframe LeetCode in or like?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I
What
could.
is the web experience? I mean, would it be just be this and then you have like it opens in a
Has
new tab?
anyone
LeetCode?
used UiPath or something?
Mm,
Have you heard of UiPath?
no.
Never used it, but like have you heard of like it's just like this is like clicks on the DOM for you automated.
Oh yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, but would I run it in an iframe? I mean, that'd probably be the easiest way and an easy way to get the result too. So that way it would kind of prevent people from entering bogus speeds and stuff like that. But I don't know.
It's just all good fun.
There's too many different things to think about before I've even started it. That's why I'm like, oh, okay, I finally just kind of finished up the last features this week.
Like, would you say, hey, are you gonna like take a break? Is this it, or are you gonna say no? This is still I'm pushing out improvements every week.
I'm gonna try to keep pushing out improvements. Like there's certain things that you can't even see that I've like added. Like when this, like say if I updated on NPM, that version number up there, it'll display a message saying like your thing's out of date. Like run NPM, and globally install it again. It's got like update messages that are hidden that you can't see because I don't have anything added into them. There are features that I'd like to add for sure, but I think as of right now, like it'll be more like trying to get members and then seeing if they find bugs and we can reach out and let me know. I tried to do pretty robust testing, at least for the API, so hopefully if they're finding bugs, it's only within the CLI app and it's not on the server side.
Is it weird for them to like leave feedback via the app, like for them to actually go and say like
I thought about
leave feedback?
Yeah, I thought about that. That's actually something that I definitely should implement because it would be quite easy to do too. Like it already has like email functionality, so someone could leave a comment and it'll just go to my email.
Yeah.
Tell me that I had to press back twice on that one screen. This thing sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's no more questions. Thank you.